Hey everybody, if you're watching this video, it sounds like you are interested in learning how to code, and so we're going to start off with this website right here, scratch.mit.edu. And the cool thing about this website is it is totally free, it doesn't cost a dime, and it's actually, some people think it's like for little kids. It's actually really powerful. You can do some amazing things in here. Up front, I'm going to tell you that you are not supposed to use your school Google account to sign in. You know, your school email. Don't use that to sign in. Your parents need to make you an account at home. If they click on Join Scratch, they can set you up with an account and give you your username and password. Please do not use your school Google account. You could get in trouble for doing that. Now check this out. The cool thing is your parents, set you up with an account. You can click sign in and put in your sign in information, and you'll be able to go right into your account. Technically, you don't need an account to make anything in Scratch. You need an account to save stuff in Scratch. So I'm going to show you what I mean here in this video, because we're going to go through just some real simple stuff. If you're hoping to make like Final Fantasy 47 or whatever, we're not doing that today, and probably not tomorrow either. But we can start making really cool little things right now. So I'm going to click on Create. I would normally always sign in. I'm going to click on Create just because we'll just get to it here, and I'll show you why it's important to have your own account here at the end. Okay, so creating project, blah, blah, blah. All right, here we go. There's a tutorial. Excuse me, there's a tutorial. Tutorial's pretty good, actually. I'm going to let you do the tutorial because you're smart. You can click on these and watch and do what it asks you to do. I'm going to go ahead and do my own tutorial with you right now. So here's what we've got. I got a lot of information on the screen right now. And usually the first time kids do this, they're like, oh, that's a lot. It is. But we're going to start breaking it down piece by piece. This guy right over here is the Scratch cat. He's the first thing that loads in Scratch. Today we're going to use him. Later on, we might not. First thing we might do is delete him, but let's just leave him there for now because he works. So this is actually what your game will end up looking like. If you click on this little full screen control, you'll see like, hey, if someone goes to play your game, this is all they'll see. They won't see all this stuff over here. This is where your code goes, right? So this is what the game will actually look like. Down here, we'll get to this stuff later. Same thing over here. Okay, this right here, this big blank empty space, this is really important. This is where all of our code needs to go. Now you notice over here, there's a bunch of these blocks. I know some of you have already done Scratch coding, so you're like, yeah, I know, Mr. Raney. All right, cool. If you don't know, this is where the magic happens. We drag our magic over here, and it turns into a video game. And then one other thing I really want you to make sure you're aware of right off the bat, because this is a common problem. Kids will be like, where did all my code go? I can't find my code. What happened? It's like, you gotta click on this little code tab. There's costumes and there's sounds. Later on, we will totally get into that stuff. Let's just stick with code for now. All right, let's make the world's worst video game. It'll be the best we can do today, but it won't be a great video game. We're gonna take this cat, and I want it to be able to move around all directions. So left, right, up, and down. I could just click on the cat and drag it around, but that's not much of a video game. Most video games I know use the keyboard for movement. Not always, but a lot of them. So let's set that up. All right, how are we going to do that? Well, over here in our code section, we got all these different pretty colors. Scratch is cool. They color code everything. We want to do an event. So a computer is really dumb. If I yell at the computer right now, hey, computer, move the Scratch cat to the right. You notice how nothing happened? Yeah, computers don't really, I mean, like some computers, like Siri will understand that maybe, but Scratch is it's only as smart as we make it. It doesn't really know what you want. So we need to tell it what we want. We want to give it an event. An event is a thing that happens. So here's what we're going to do. I clicked on this kind of golden colored, yellow colored thing, and I see when flag is clicked, when space key is pressed. Let's drag that over here. See how I'm dragging that over here? This is where all of our code is going to go. Now it says when space key pressed. I'm going to leave it alone for a second. I want the cat to move. I notice that there's this area right here that says motion. Motion is a fancy word for movement. Okay. Oh, I got some more code blocks here. How about move 10 steps? I don't know what a step is, but that's okay. We'll figure it out later. Okay, now I want you to see something. This is real important. If I press the space key, guess what? Nothing happens. I bet you know why. It's because I didn't connect these code blocks. Just like Legos, if I don't connect them together, they're not going to quite work the way I want them to. If you notice as I drag it closer, see how kind of it's like, oh, look, it gets all gray. It's like, hey, I'm going to put it here. You let go, I'm going to put it here. Okay, there it goes. It's there now, right? All right, now I'm going to try my program again. I'm going to press the space key. Whoa, look at him go. See that? I just held down the space key. Zoom. Okay, that's pretty fun. Zoom. Okay, get back here. All right, that's cool. Now, I don't know about the space key thing, though. I would probably like to have on my keyboard, I've got a little right arrow key. I'd probably like that to be the thing that moves the cat to the right. That just kind of makes sense, right? So if I click on this little, it says when space key pressed. Oh, look at that. I get like a little menu. Up arrow, down. I want right arrow. Okay, let's test that out. It's my right. I know you can't see me clicking it, but yeah, there's my right arrow, and I'm moving. Okay, now you can move to the right, but if I press the left arrow, nothing doing. Same thing with up and down. Scratch, we told it what to do with the right arrow key, but we didn't tell it what to do with the left arrow key. So let's do that right now. We're going to go back to events, and we're going to drag another event out. Now this time, up here I said, hey, when the right arrow key is pressed, move 10 steps. I'm going to say when the left arrow key is pressed. We want to move again, right? Now here comes another super common mistake. I wish I was there with you because I could help you fix it, because I know some of you are going to make this mistake. You're going to start pressing the left arrow key, and cat's going to go right. You're going to be like, well, I told it when you press the left arrow key, move 10 steps. Do you notice how this and this, the move 10 steps, are exactly the same? We'll get into it later about what steps means. But for now, what I want you to know is if you want your cat to move to the right, we're going to use a positive number, any number bigger than 0. And if we want our cat to move to the left, we need to use a negative number. I'm going to take this 10 and I'm going to put a minus sign in front of it. Not after it. That won't work. Before it. Now when I press my left arrow key, oh, look, he's dancing. He's dancing. There you go. Okay. I've got right, I've got left. Now we need up and down, don't we? Let's do up and down. Okay. I want you to go back to events. Oh, by the way, if this video goes too fast, pause it. Pause it. I'm not going anywhere. You can play it again when you're ready. We're going to make 2 more. I'm going to go ahead and drag them both out, because I just know I need 2 more, right? I need one for the up arrow, and I need one for the down arrow. Now, move 10 steps or move minus 10 steps, that only works going to the right and to the left. That won't help us for up and down. I'm going to save you the math lesson today. It's coming later, don't worry. But for today, I'm just going to tell you how to make it go up and go down. We want to go over here to motion. We don't want to use move 10 steps. I know some of you have already dragged it over here, and I'm going to say, no, undrag it, get rid of it. Throw. By the way, if you make a mistake, you can take the code block and drag it back over here, and that's a big trash can. I want you to change Y by 10. Not set Y. That isn't going to work. You're going to say change Y by 10. If I press my up, and I've got up arrow key pressed, right? Okay, so let me try it. Oh, I still can't go down. We'll add that last. Down here for when down arrow key is pressed, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to say, hey, change Y by, you guessed it, minus 10. Okay, let's see what we've got. My cat can now move every single direction. And what you're going to do is before you move on, I know you're like, this is lame. This is terrible. I told you it was going to be the world's worst video game. But technically, you've made a game, right? You've got a thing that's on the screen. Whoever's playing it can use the keyboard to move it around. They don't have to drag it around with a mouse. This is a game. It's not a good one, but you made your first game. Congratulations. Now, make sure that all of this is working. If you can't get it to work, then I want you to go back and look at these directions. And I bet you made a teeny tiny little mistake, like you forgot to put a minus sign, or this says left arrow when it should say up arrow, or instead of changing Y by 10, you dragged set Y to, or, like your code should be exactly the same as mine. If it's not exactly precisely the same, then you're going to have problems. And it's really frustrating because if you make even the teeniest little mistake, everything gets blown up. So make sure this is good. And then in the next video, we're going to talk about what we're going to do to make this a little bit more interesting.